Hey guys, one question you've been asking us is, do I still need to take the SAT or ACT? There's all these colleges going test optional. What do I do? In this video, I'll explain what test optional means and how to make a wise decision about whether to take the SAT or ACT. First, let's talk about the news. There's all these announcements that colleges are going test optional. What does that mean? Test optional means that colleges will accept an SAT or ACT score if you submit it, but they're not requiring it. You don't have to submit it to gain admission to that college. That means it's literally an option for you. Now, what it does not mean is that colleges are test blind. Some colleges have gone test blind. Test blind means no matter whether you send it or not, they're just not going to look at it. They're not going to consider a perfect ACT score in the admissions cycle at all. Most colleges that have made a declaration about fall of 2020 has said that they're going to go test optional, not test blind. Some colleges, like my alma mater, NYU, have been test flexible for several years. Test flexible means they could accept any one of different kinds of tests, so SAT or ACT, or subject tests, or an IB diploma, or AP exams. You can submit 3 AP scores to NYU and gain admission that way. What's important to remember about this, guys, is test optional is a really broad term where colleges set up different parameters based on their own institution. So the best thing to do if you're thinking about applying to a specific college is to go to their admissions website for the most recent and up-to-date information. If you want to see all the colleges together, go to fairtest.org. They keep a list up to date of all the different announcements about test optional, test blind, and test flexible. So now the big question, should you take the SAT or ACT if all the colleges you're applying to are test optional? And the answer depends on what kind of profile you have. Remember that some of these colleges that are going test optional have said that test optional doesn't apply to international students. So if you're an international student, go to the international students page on those admissions websites and make sure you're following the rules. That might answer the question for you. Another factor to consider is your residency status. Remember, some colleges are test optional, but only for in-state residents. So if you're an out-of-state resident applying to a public university system, make sure you're aware of that status. Remember that test optional and test blind policies sometimes don't apply for homeschool students. So if you're a homeschooler and you need that external verification of the SAT or ACT, you might still have to take the exam this fall if you're applying. Another factor to consider is that the NCAA still requires SAT and ACT scores for scholarships and eligibility. That's as of June 2020. So unless something changes, you might need to take the SAT or ACT to be part of the NCAA process. One final thing I want you to remember is that some scholarships are still tied to SAT and ACT performance. So you need to go through these categories one by one. Are you an international student or domestic student? Are you in-state or out-of-state? Are you a homeschooler? Are you applying for an NCAA recruitment process? Or are you looking to get any kind of scholarship that's tied to SAT or ACT money? Now, one final category of people who should still take the SAT or ACT are people who have a problem with their transcripts. Because there's going to be no SAT or ACT for a lot of applications, more pressure, more focus will be put on the transcript and letters of recommendation. So if you had a really bad 9th or 10th grade year and your transcript shows that, maybe there's a way to still take the SAT or ACT and add that asset to your application. But it really depends on you. Are you good at standardized tests? Do you have the time and money to devote to test preparation in a way that's going to help you? Are test centers available in your area, and can you go safely? The good news about test optional is this: it's given you an option. For a lot of students, that option is going to mean you're just not going to have to worry about this exam. Focus on your personal statement, on your common application, and on putting your best foot forward rather than worrying about standardized tests. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and turn on that notifications bell. We're going to be posting all kinds of great content for college admissions and test prep.